Via the method of one of the most irritating ways to collect something going, Character Options have re-released one of the Doctor Who action figure line's most sought after figures. From going for hundreds on eBay to $12.99 on the shelves of B&M, is this re-release any good? Let's find out. Taking a look at the packaging, being a single release, it's a lot smaller than other B&M releases, but it follows the same style guide with the Doctor Who logo, the top left-hand corner with the title of the story, and the top right, the ages 5 plus and the diamond cutouts. You get this kind of window of Davros, but much like the history of the Dalek sets for the last few years, it's vacuum sealed. At the bottom, we have the image of the TARDIS, and it tells you which Doctor's era it's from, as well as the title of the set and the golden limited edition sticker with the Character Options logo in the side. The sides of the box, just pretty much the same information, with one side giving you a little look at the figure, but it doesn't really show all that much because it's a massive title of the set in the way. At the back, it gives you a little write up on the story and Davros himself, but mine are covered in security stickers because my mate clearly lives in a dodgy side of town. And at the top, just the Doctor Who logo, and at the bottom, just your standard legal stuff. When you open up the set, you see that there's a diorama behind Davros, but given that he's vacuum sealed, you have to properly get into it to free him, so you just end up with a mess. So it's a nice inclusion, but you kinda wonder why they bothered. If they'd done it like the creation of the Dalek set and actually had like a window, then sure, it would probably cost more, but $12.99 for one of the most sought after Doctor Who figures anyways, like still a couple quid more on top of that, I don't think anyone would have complained that much. Taking a look at the figure outside the box, it looks really nice. The head sculpt is a lot different to the original. It's much paler, and the eyes and the mouth are more defined, and there's some like red tubing and silver for the headpiece, and you can make out the microphone. I know some people complain that it looks a bit weird, but I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks a bit more accurate to how he is in the story. But given the way the packaging is, it's a lot harder to identify any quality controls. I've got two of the Davroses just to have one showing Davros and one with like the lid down, and one bit of the eyepiece is pretty wonky, so it's a lot harder to identify these issues. But if you can, just look out for them. I couldn't with these because a mate got me mine, but it's just something to be aware of. Another complaint that's been raised is the colouring of the wires on Davros's body. On the original, there are like a range of colours. I think there's some greens there too. This one, it's just got a bit of red, yellow, bit of blue, but mostly unpainted. It maybe would have been nice just to have a bit more colour to it, but I'm not sure how accurate it would have been. I'm not really that fussed on these accuracies. I know people get really upset about it, but I really couldn't give a toss. One thing that this release has apparently gotten accurate is that instead of black behind Davros and the inside of the bin lid or whatever you want to call it, it's gold instead of black like the original. So people are kind of happy about that, I think. When you hide Davros, there's a hexagon and you can just about make out his mug behind it. It kind of depends on the lighting, but I think it's kind of cool how you can still see him slightly. On top of the dome, you get these gold little buttons which remind me of the Lego stud pieces, which look pretty nice. And at the back of the dome, there's just a white space which gets covered when you lift the dome up. Underneath, you get some like ridges, which some are painted gold, and there's a tiny bit of paint bleed you can just about see underneath the dome, which is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. At the top of the skirt, you get the two white bumps, which are accurate to the prop, and all the rest of it's just following the Imperial Dalek guide style, which looks really nice. I haven't noticed many paint bleeds on there, and the gold like really pops against the white. It's a really nice, sleek design for it. And just like any other Davros or Dalek figure, it's just got the wheel so he can go about if you want him to, like bumper carts. Davros's head doesn't have any articulation, and if I were you, I wouldn't force it, so the only thing you can really do is just lift the dome up and down. Overall, I think this release is brilliant. The price for it, I wouldn't have even minded paying a little bit more for what it is, given how pretty much everyone's been after this figure for however long, and with the mold thought to be lost, it's just great to have the opportunity to add it to the collection. These B&M releases are always a ball ache to get your hands on, so I wish you the very best of luck trying to get them. I'm still waiting around to see if I can get this Dalek set with the grey mesh. I've got the silver one on standby, ready to be sent off to me eventually, so fingers crossed. So good luck to you lot. Hope you've enjoyed this review. If not, leave a dislike, and hopefully I'll see you in my next review. Goodbye.